Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited because I started recording this video, realized I had not selected my microphone and it was going to bring my audio through the camera again. So I stopped the video, took a sip of water, and I'm recovering from a head cold and my ear unblocked. So I am so excited. You guys are basically watching this happen live. I don't know when the last time you had your ears stuffed up because you had a head cold was, but it's sweet, sweet victory when that finally releases. Anyway, what are we going to be talking about today? I was going to say not something that exciting, but actually I think it could be. So I'm going to get into the complexities around manifesting a relationship. I know that it is said in the manifesting community that you can have whatever person you want given you remove all of your limiting beliefs and you give them enough time to conform to or align with the version of them that exists in the way that you want. I do not believe that this is always true. I think it is very much possible for the majority of people, but I think that if you're following me, you might be a little bit more like me, and this is definitely not in your best interest. I'm not saying it's not an option, but we're going to get into why this isn't in your best interest to hold this belief. I'm going to collect my thoughts. Like I did say, I am getting over a head cold, so I might be stopping and starting a lot so that I can take care of myself. And also, please forgive me for the congestion. So I already, as I'm gathering my thoughts, can tell that I need to. The time is growing nearer for me to finally do my full in-depth series on the false twin flame, or the alien love bite, also known as the dark side of Cupid. Basically any sort of false partner and what that means. The short version, the simple answer, is that it is any connection that you have spiritually with another person that is infiltrated by negative entities. Now, when we think negative entities, we think like really bad vibes, like low vibrational things. Maybe we think of like demons or, like very dark spirits. I am going to use the term negative entity as any entity that has an agenda that goes against mine, which is embodying sovereignty, truth, and compassion, and encouraging others to find that within themselves. So these can be high vibrational beings, and that would be another very controversial topic for me to get into, just how many people work with high vibrational beings that do not have your sovereignty and / or best interest in mind. For this reason, I personally do not work with anyone other than the higher self of my clients and any guides that step forward. And I set all my intentions to be in alignment with my mission and sovereignty and everyone's highest good. So, that being said, that is one aspect of why I personally in my journey have found that the idea of manifesting anyone you want back into your life is not always a good thing. So I'm just going to go with the whole personal testimony thing here to explain this. For example, in my life, maybe not all, but all of the the majority of my romantic partners have been infiltrated in some way. I keep wanting to go on like further tangents. Let me collect this thought so I don't get too confusing. Okay, I'm just going to keep moving. So these partners have been infiltrated in some way. To clarify infiltration, this does not mean that like their soul isn't in their body and some scary being is fully in control. It does mean that they have some sort of negative energetic attachment or possession. Now, when I say possession, you might think of movies like The Exorcist, where there's like a whole demon in someone's body. That is not what I'm referring to. Possession, like by definition, something could have partial possession of you if there is a negative energy that is in your field and able to influence you because it is in your field, then it does have partial possession of you. So destigmatizing that word and possession in general, very rarely are you going to see like an actual full possession, and it is going to present in a very crazy way. So moving past that concept into the fact that when I say infiltrated partner, I mean somebody that is not taking care of themselves energetically, or perhaps they are on a spiritual path, but they have found themselves hijacked by a negative agenda, and they have agreed to let these entities and their agenda influence them energetically. So when I say that I have only ever encountered infiltrated partners, now this is a form of spiritual hijacking. So for people that are on a spiritual mission here, this is why things are different for you than most people manifesting. I'm not saying that you literally cannot manifest anyone you want back, but if you think about your spiritual mission being to come into alignment with your soul, ascend, come into your spirituality more and more, connect deeper with yourself to source, God, universe, whatever term you use, that's a big deal. And there's so much in this world. If you're already on this path, you know that there are things that try and stop you from that. They want you to get stuck in these, misery loops and keep yourself miserable. They don't want you to move forward. They don't want you to expand. So partners are a great way to do that. We often can find ourselves in a relationship where things... Okay, so backing up a little bit, when it comes to like a false twin flame, alien love bite, you might have some sort of premonition before you meet this person that you're going to meet them. And I don't mean like just knowing, like it will seem new to you, it won't just seem like your intuition. It will seem like something outside, like a new experience you're having. Oh, I've never felt this feeling in my body before, or I've never seen a vision like this, or I'm having dreams. I used to always have dreams before I connected with a partner, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like this is something special because I saw this person in my dreams. Like this is so crazy. Like I literally would dream of our first date, and I would be on, or like second date, and we'd be on the date, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, like I've literally been here. There's something special about this person. There was nothing special about this person other than that they would keep me stuck in misery. And it's kind of like they get dressed up in the beginning. You'll feel a really strong energetic connection with these people because that is the intention. It's all set to lure you in. So you might have some sort of premonition about this person. Again, it's not going to feel organic and authentic to you, but if you have never felt something that is organic and authentic, you might take that on. Like when I very first had my first ones, I definitely thought it was me. I didn't understand the difference. I didn't understand that I could be having projections and just assuming it was me. I didn't understand that projections existed, that entities could project things onto you and have you claim them and think that it was you, which gets into like issues of causing trust issues within yourself. So you might have these premonitions, you might have like dreams, feelings, whatever. The connection with this person is going to feel like nothing you've ever experienced, even if you've had a few partners. I've had so many infiltrated partners. The next one is always better than the last. The connection is always one-upped. It's always different because the old shit's not going to work on me, so they always have to give me something a little different. but it also, in a way, is an energetic match for you. So also, you may find that when I talk about the energetic connection between you, you'll probably feel this during intimacy very strongly, very strongly. There may be like a very strong attraction between the two of you that almost feels uncontrollable. Like, oh my gosh, like I just can't help it. Like I have to be with this person intimately. So then once you're in this connection, there's a lot of hot and cold. There's a lot of breadcrumbing that can go on. There's a lot of like runner-chaser dynamic, which gets into the whole twin flame culture of this idea that this other person is the other half of your soul. And so if you sit here and put up with all this shit and heal yourself and deal with this other person making you miserable, then you're really healing yourself. And don't you want to heal yourself? It's a good pitch. It's a good pitch. I have yet to be convinced that anyone has incarnated here and split their soul in half. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying it's got to be super rare for an actual twin flame to exist. It just doesn't make sense to me, knowing what I know is available, why anyone would choose to do that. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's extremely rare, and just assume that it's not you. Because what we do have available to us are dynamics that feel just like everything that the twin flame experience is, which are divine unions, divine counterparts. So I know this is probably a little all over the place, but going back, so you have this amazing connection at the beginning. Oh my God, there's something super special here. It probably gets really intense, really amazing, and then all of a sudden, boom, like you get ghosted, or the other person's running, or I just can't do this, and you're like, whoa, like everything changes so drastically, and now you're put into the chaser mode. Probably if you're watching this video, if you're running away, you probably don't care about it like that. So this dynamic keeps you in a loop, right? And then the whole idea that, oh, well, you're really healing yourself. But you're healing yourself within a dynamic that's teaching you attachment. And don't get me wrong, I've had false twin flames. And I didn't believe that I really was a twin flame. But I was having the experience. This was a year ago, and I was like, what the hell, man? I know that this is not a twin flame. Why am I experiencing it? But I said to myself, this is all about self-love, right? And I really want to come into self-love. I had actually manifested coming into self-love. So I get this false twin flame, and this is where I may have talked about this in a previous video, a divine template. So a divine template, think of it like a blueprint. Think of it like you want to build your own house, and you can go online and you can purchase people's designs, right? And then you can have whoever you can contract people to build it. You can do it yourself. You and I could build we could purchase the same blueprint of a house, and I could build it with all sorts of missing shit, right? I could totally skimp on insulation, buy the cheapest pipes available. My electrician could not know what he's doing, and you could build the house with quality, and we could have the same looking house, but which one do you want? Right? I would want your house. I wouldn't want my house. So what I'm saying is that there are templates available just that exist in the universe. And negative entities, which again is anything that is against service to source and sovereignty and truth and compassion, they have access to these things, and they can infiltrate them, and they can like run almost like viruses through them. So you can get a false twin template, but it's still a twin template. So what you could do, I feel like this analogy is going to fall apart now that I'm moving forward with this, but I feel like you'll still get what I'm saying. You could go into my house that I have built, And you could say, well, the foundation's there. At least she did that right. I'm just going to rewire this, and I'm going to put better pipes in, and I'm going to put insulation in, and now I have a beautiful house that functions and is like a quality house to be in. Okay, that didn't fall apart like I thought it was. So what I said when I had this whole false twin thing was, well, it's still a divine template, and I'm going to use it. It's going to teach me self-love, and I'm going to use it. And the moment that the bullshit starts and they just try and loop me into misery, and I can tell for certain, because I wasn't really sure. I was like pretty sure. I wasn't fully certain. But the moment that I am certain that this is bullshit, I'm out. So I think it was about 6 months, and I did all this work myself. Like, I wasn't in contact with my twin, who I knew was not my twin, but I was trying to explore what other options there were. I learned a lot. I have no regrets from it, but I knew these things. A lot of people don't know these things, and I have seen massive, like a year ago, massive twin flame awakenings, and they're false twin flames. Now, anyone who is truly following the twin flame template of service to self and self-love is going to break free, because eventually it's not going to serve you anymore because it's infiltrated, and it's not a real twin. That's not really the other half of your soul. This is a person that's been placed into this template with you, and you can remove yourself if you want to. That gets tricky. Definitely consult with a professional healer, or do the healing yourself. Through intention, anything is possible. And through acting on your intention, anything is possible. So I'm going to try and keep this one under 20 minutes, but we're getting close here. So all in all, I've discussed a little bit about it, and I really do want to create like a series and go more in depth about the false twin flames and the false partnerships. But could you see how I would not want to manifest my twin overcoming, or my false twin overcoming his infiltration to somehow catch up with me? If you are like me and you move at a pretty rapid pace in your healing, you're going to outpace people. And it's going to take, like, you're going to have a lot of situations that serve you very temporarily. And other souls, when it comes to the soul mission, and this is why I believe that you cannot, in your best interest, manifest whoever you want, because if your mission is so specific to what is going on this planet right now, it's just not there. It's just not there for a person that does not share your mission, or a soul that does not share your mission, to come into alignment with you. I don't know if you've like experienced this, but people are very polarized right now. And the bifurcation of souls making decisions of what frequency they want to stay on is just increasing. And it's pretty apparent in day-to-day life. You might notice that you've just stopped understanding people, that there are just people that it's like literally almost like an NPC, where like you just can't have a conversation with them, or you can, but it's like you don't have any idea what they just said, and they have no idea what you just said, and why did I even bother with that interaction? So things are becoming very apparent in terms of the differences in frequency, in how people's souls are choosing to embody. So for you to say that you can manifest whoever, yes, you can. But I believe that our higher self is always going to override in our best interest, right? It's kind of like the analogy of like, my dog would love to have a piece of chocolate, but I know that he should not have that, and I'm not going to give it to him. He's never going to understand why, right? He's a dog. He's very smart, but he's never going to understand why. I won't give him certain things that will harm him. So just like that, our higher self takes care of us. So no, if a person is not going to be in alignment with our higher self's mission here, we cannot manifest them. And that is why I think practicing compassion, true unconditional love, that soul is free to experience however they want to, right? And you can invite them to meet you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't invite people on a soul level to make leaps and jumps and heal themselves, to be in alignment with you, but not at your expense. Not at your expense. Don't be wasting your time and energy on it. You can hold that space as a high vibrational being. That's kind of what you're doing anyway. You're holding that space for everyone around you to meet you in that and heal. There's another video for you. Let me know if you want to hear about how you embodying what you embody is healing other people. But no, if somebody's soul is really like, no, I'm not trying to be where you're at, you would have to backtrack and bring yourself down a few notches to be with them. And your higher self is like, that's not why we came here. If we came here for that, we wouldn't be in this situation where you had to backtrack to begin with, you know? So I hope this made sense. I just think it's more complex, and it really depends on your soul's mission, again, of what you're trying to accomplish here. And then we have to take into account what the people you desire, friendship, family, otherwise, what they desire too. And I'm not saying you can't quantum leap into a reality where those people like match you enough so that they can exist in your reality. But when it does come to like such extremes as somebody being heavily infiltrated by negative entities, they have contracts with those negative entities. And that means that the entities have all aspects of them. It's not just like the one version, it's all of it. And that is very tricky to explain other than your soul has like layers, like a cake of different dimensional aspects. Almost like when I visualize it, it's like those towers, like for toddlers with the little cups, the stacking cups. It's almost like that. And so whatever level they contracted at, and say they contracted at 8, they definitely have you from 8 all the way down to 1, So they're going to have influence, control, whatever their agenda is, of all your aspects. And if you're hearing this and you're like, oh my God, Alex, how do I know if that's happening to me? Again, possession is somewhat normal and commonplace. I was contracted. I was just getting out of more contracts at the beginning of the year that I didn't know about until I was out of them or getting out of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, this explains so much. Which could certainly be another one, but I feel like it is a sensitive subject for YouTube. I don't know about how I would present some of those very important aspects of things. But anyway, so don't worry. If you are focused on truly always being the best for yourself, healing yourself, coming into sovereignty, coming into truth, you will naturally clear those things. Just through interacting with my 3D reality and exploring with manifestation and clearing blocks, cleared contracts. Yes, I practice energy work and I have a lot of experience with entities and clearing contracts, but I believe that you don't need that, and that's the beauty of Earth. It can certainly help. If you believe you need it, you're gonna need it. It's whatever your beliefs are, but I firmly believe that if you go out there and you live your life and you put your foot down and you know where your boundaries are and you make the right choices for yourself, you will be clearing contracts. You probably already have. So don't stress over that. But if you are concerned about it or you need help with something, definitely seek out a healer. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. That's my rant about that. Like I said, very complex because there's just like so many different aspects of it. So I hope I don't want this to be like the running theme of the end of my videos being like, I hope this made sense. But I do hope that it made sense, and let me know what you need clarity on, because I'm I assume that there's going to be clarity needed on something. I know that I just threw a lot at you, and I definitely want to go more in depth about these topics. So let me know specifically what to go in depth on so I can do that for you. Update on my Patreon. I have really reformatted things so that it's talking about, I am manifestation coaching while talking about healing your soul in it. So definitely check that out. Join my community there if you want extra coaching and classes, things like that are offered on my Patreon, one-on-one services. Everything's down in the description box. I offer manifestation coaching now per your request, so I'm really excited and enjoying working with you guys. So definitely let me know what you'd like to hear about next, and I'll see you in the comments and in the next video.